I don't know what the people who live above me do, but it is maybe the most irritating thing ever because they're constantly tapping. Also, it is once again so bright that I can't really see into the camera, so I'm sorry about that. Today I'm doing a video that I personally didn't see coming, but y'all voted for it. I did my magical moments video a while back. A bunch of people were surprised that characters couldn't be in proposals, which I didn't think about was weird because I was just used to it, but obviously it is kind of weird. So this sparked this whole video. So before you get like really excited, if you wanted me to like spill the tea, I'm not going to be like breaking character integrity or talking about things like that. I do at some point want to go back and work for the Walt Disney Company, so I'm not trying to like get myself in trouble here. Also, I went to Wendy's and look at how big this drink is. I'm standing like 6 feet away from the camera now, so I'm sorry if the background looks funky. The video of people being like surprised that characters couldn't be in proposals kind of prompted this video. So a lot of these like secrets I talk about are gonna be things along those lines that characters can't do or sign, things like that. If you're new to my channel and this is the first video you're seeing, hello, my name is Lauren, whatever you want to call me. I was a character attendant on my last program at Walt Disney World. I'm actually wearing my very cute Fantasy Feelings college program shirt right now. That is custom, so on the bottom it says Magic Kingdom alumni on this side, and then it says character attendant on this side. I love this. It's anyways, so yeah, obviously I worked for Magic Kingdom Entertainment, did all the training, worked with characters. That's where this is coming from. So this isn't gonna just be one of those like clickbaity BuzzFeed videos, I promise. First things first, people wondered why characters couldn't be in proposal photos and videos, and honestly, I don't really know. I'm guessing this has something to do with Disney's really big on characters not like saying that they're endorsing something, the same way that characters like can't hold things up essentially. I don't know why they decided proposals, but I have a feeling it's probably because they don't want like a proposal video with Mickey in the background, and then if people get divorced 5 years later, like Mickey was endorsing a failed relationship. It's the only thing I could possibly think of, because I literally have no idea what else it could be, but that's the best answer I can give you for that. Along those lines, there's a lot of things that characters can't do. So characters can only do one hand signal essentially, which is I love you in sign language. You'll see this in a lot of character photos. Characters can't do any sort of hand signals, sororities a lot of the time. Trying to get characters to like throw up signs, things like that. Characters can't do that. Sports teams, characters can't do that. Obviously there's like certain things like Spider-Man can do like, well, I guess this is the same thing, but like characters like that can do things related to their characters, but they can't do any sort of hand signals that would relate to different like geographic locations, organizations, sports teams, things like that, because you would be surprised how often people try to get characters to throw up things like gang signs. I've personally seen it. Also, like I was saying, characters can't physically hold up signs, posters, flags, things like that. You can hold things up in front of them, so say if you brought like a sign that was a pregnancy announcement or a gender reveal. We did a gender reveal for with one of my characters in Mickey Town Square, so that's why I'm thinking about that. Characters can stand behind it and you can hold it in front of them, but you can't get a photo of a character physically holding a sign. People try to do this with things like travel agencies that aren't technically Disney owned, so you see a lot of those like Disney travel agencies on Facebook and things like that. People will bring signs and try to get characters to hold those up so they can like take free promotional photos. Essentially, characters cannot do that. They can't hold up your jersey of your favorite hockey team. They can't hold up a sweater of the university that you're going to. They can't do anything like that. They can't physically hold it. They can be in photos with you in it, or you can try and take a photo and then like crop them out later, as long as we're not doing it, but they can't hold something physically. Next, we have a whole different category of things that characters can't sign, which is a lot of things. People ask characters to sign the most ridiculous things ever. Like, they go over in training, and like I said in a different video, I'm gonna do a whole video on my character attendant training, go through like core and core plus and debut day and all that stuff. But I went through training and I was like, this is ridiculous. No one would ever ask characters to sign these things. And then people started bringing things to characters to sign, and I was like, who thinks of this? I do think a majority of the time people are bringing weird things to characters design because they don't have anything else with them and they're just pulling out what they have. I think a lot of people online see the family in front of them getting things signed and they're like, oh my god, that'd be so cute, but we don't have an autograph book, and they just start pulling things out. But I've seen the weirdest things. At Crystal Palace, we had a family, this was definitely one of those, like, they just didn't have anything else to sign, but a family pulled out a Hard Rock Hotel folio, which is like when you leave a hotel, like the printout they give you of the price breakdown. Obviously characters can't sign that because characters can't sign anything that a human would sign, if that makes sense. So a receipt, a legal document, things like that, characters can't sign. At Thoughtful Spot, this was another one of those, like, I think they just didn't have another piece of paper with them, which, like, just ask us. Attendants literally carry paper in case of this. Like, we had no cards with us in case this happened. But at Thoughtful, we had a kid pull out a piece of paper for our character design, and it was a copy of his birth certificate. It might have been his actual birth certificate, but I think it was a copy because who would carry their actual birth certificate around the park? But he literally tried to get Boom Digger to sign a copy of his birth certificate. Obviously, we can't do that. Another one that people don't think of is magazines. The only magazine that characters are allowed to sign is, there was a, I want to say it was a Mickey's 90th Times magazine. If I can find it, I'll throw it up here. But it was like a specialty magazine put out by Disney. Those they can sign, but any other magazine they can't sign, just because they don't want on one page, even if it's something like good publicity for the company, if there's one page that's like, you know, Magic Kingdom celebrating 50th birthday, and you flip it over and the next page is like, celebrity tennis player murdered by her husband. They don't want that association. So no magazines. Park tickets is a big one that people don't know they can't sign. Essentially, your park ticket should only ever have your name written on the back of it, if anything else, or like the date or things like that. So a park ticket, if Mickey signs it, then theoretically becomes Mickey's park ticket. So it's another one that people always want characters to sign because it's like commemorating their day. Can't sign park tickets. I have a whole list of these things. So when I do that training video and I talk about that, that was in like our like classroom days. I'll go over more in depth if there's anything else. But yeah, hotel folio and birth certificate are the weirdest that I've got. Again, sketchy travel agencies try and get characters to sign their pamphlets all the time. They can't sign those either. One of my friends told me this. I can promise you that the characters can see that you're wearing a button, or if you're wearing a shirt with a big logo on it, or you have a funny hat on, if it's your birthday and anniversary, the characters will notice. You don't need to point it out 5,000 times. I get that people are very excited, but it's especially awkward when it's like a little kid is there and then it's like the parents' anniversaries or the parents' birthdays and the parents are like freaking out being like, do you see my button? And it's like, yeah, we're just trying to pay attention to your kid. So I thought I'd just throw that in there because I literally asked, and my friend who's a performer was like, I can see your button, I promise. This is kind of like a tip more than anything, I guess, but character dining, always a lot, 90 minutes. This isn't necessarily a secret because they tell you when you're seated, but I don't think it's printed online when you sign up for character dining. So if you're planning your vacation, plan for 90 minutes. Some of the rotations will be shorter. Like I found Chef Mickey's was a little bit shorter. It sat probably closer to like 75, as short as like 45 on a good day. But I know Crystal for sure, they say 90 minutes because they kind of like, they don't popcorn there, but their rotation is a lot harder to go through at Crystal than at Chef Mickey's. So it hurts me physically when I see people's touring plans or vlogs and they complain that they didn't get to meet all the characters because they, you know, had a breakfast reservation at Chef Mickey's before park open and they left to go to the park and they were only there for 45 minutes. They didn't see one of the characters and they were really mad about it. If you're going to character dining, a lot 90 minutes. Character dining is literally built around it taking 90 minutes. They will tell you when you're seated, but a lot of people unfortunately plan their days before they get to the park, obviously, because responsible Disney planners. So give yourself 90 minutes of character dining. I have two other ones and then we'll talk about character Palooza. So first, this, I don't think this is breaking character integrity, but this is something that I didn't even think about before I started working there, but almost all of the princess dresses are actually two pieces, which makes a lot of sense. If you look at any of the dresses, you can totally see this. I think Tink's is one piece, but every other dress I'm pretty sure is in two pieces with like a petticoat obviously to make it floofy. Like I said, if you like look at vlogs or you look at photos of the girls, you can totally tell this, but I thought that was just a fun little tip that they're all 2 pieces. It's essentially all like a corset and then your skirt underneath, which I'm sure makes it far more comfortable for your princesses. Like Cinderella's out here wearing a damn ball gown every single day, so girl deserves to have it as comfortable as physically possible. And this one I also don't think is breaking character integrity, but it's something I've never heard people talk about, so it's probably one of those like skirting the lines. But your average character interaction is only about a minute long, which seems insane because when you're in it, it feels a lot longer. But if you like time yourself for a minute in silence, it is very, very long. If you time yourself having small talk with a stranger, it's the longest minute of your life. So when you think about it, it makes sense. Most of your character interactions, you walk up, you're greeted, you have a hug. We try to do autographs first. That's another thing. If you want to have good character interaction, have your books open, do your autographs before your photos. It makes it easy for your attendants and your characters and everyone there. But it's usually like greet, autograph, photo. You're out of there unless you've like brought gifts for the characters or have like an elaborate setup or a special occasion or things like that. Obviously sometimes they take longer, but it was kind of wild to me when I was thinking 3 minutes for some reason, but the average character interaction is only a minute. So even though it feels very, very long, just a minute. Also, I love meeting characters, but if you're trying to utilize your time and you see that it's a 60-minute wait to meet Tigger and Pooh, do you want to wait 60 minutes to get like a minute and a half interaction? I don't know. Personally, I probably would, but that's just me. And the last thing I want to talk about really quickly is character Palooza. So this is not a Disney term. Disney does not say this. As someone who worked for Disney, Disney is not, no. Disney doesn't say character Palooza. It is made up by like blogs and things like that. You will never see the phrase character Palooza on a Disney like media outlet from Disney. You'll never see it on Disney Parks blog. You'll never see it advertised anywhere. If you don't know what I'm talking about, what people call character Palooza is essentially in Epcot. Most of the time you'll see it every once in a while in studios, but it's usually 1 or 2 characters before Fantasmic. But in Epcot you'll see a big group of sometimes rare characters meet together all in one place, all in one time for a short period of time, and it's usually like super exciting still these characters that you maybe wouldn't see before, or you weren't expecting to meet characters and you were just walking by and you saw a whole bunch of them there and people have no idea what it is. Character Palooza, if you are trying to catch it, it is generally either in between the US and, is it Morocco? If you're coming from the Mexico side, it's right before you hit the US pavilion. You see a big walkway almost down that way, or in between the UK and Canada. That'll be another place. Every once in a while you'll catch like 1 or 2 characters at International Gateway. I've seen that before too. But between US and Canada, or no, between UK and Canada and on the left hand side if you're facing the US are going to be the 2 places that you're most likely going to run into this. You will see random characters. It's almost always going to be like Mickey and the Chipmunks and Goofy, but you'll always get fun ones too. And essentially what this is character friends are coming to help out new attendants that are training. So for me, on my core day 2, I want to say, it's been a long time since I've trained, so it's all blurring together, but this will pretty much be your first day out as an attendant. So you've like done your classroom training, you've watched all your videos, you're finally ready to go out. Characters like Mickey and friends will come and help you out, and they will help you train essentially. So guests will come and meet the characters. It's like the most strict training that you will ever have as an attendant. So if you're a guest coming up to this and all the attendants look really stressed out and they're cutting the lines really early and you don't know what's going on, it's because it's probably that attendant's first day ever being a character attendant. But that is what it is. It's characters coming to help out attendants on attendants' first days. So those are the 2 locations that you're going to be able to find it, between UK and Canada or the left hand side of the US. If you're walking around Epcot, keep an eye out. If you are a local and you're hoping to catch this, the best thing to do is keep an eye on DCP updates. Character attendant is a weird job because they don't hire externally for it, so you're never going to see a posting on the Disney careers page for a character attendant. It's always going to be an internal transfer or through Transfer Genie, or it's people who were hired for DCPs that stayed on as character attendant. That means that these trainings for attendants fall around DCP dates most of the time. So if you're a local and you're trying to be sneaky and you're trying to track this down, if you keep track of move-in dates for the DCP, if you think they move in on a Monday, it's probably going to be like Thursday, Friday, Saturday would be tradition. It'll probably be around the next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when these character quizzes will start to crop up. So it's hard to tell because you don't always know these dates, but if you're in the DCP community and you're trying to figure this out and you want to see maybe some rare characters, it's gonna be like a week after movement essentially. I've talked a lot now, sun's still going down, we're doing great, so I'm gonna stop this here. I hope that gave you some fun little insight and answered some questions that some people had, because obviously people were really confused when I talked about proposals the first time. If you have any other questions or things that you'd want to know about entertainment or attending or performers, things like that, I can always bug friends and ask them questions too. Leave those in the comments down below. On my other links to everything else, so Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat that I never use anymore, but that's down there too. All those will be in the description. Please subscribe. I am here all the time. Disney content, non-Disney content, I just put out whatever I feel like. So please subscribe. It'd be really great if I could hit 5K before the end of the year, considering I've had this channel for like, you know, a decade, but it's fine. That is all. I will see you guys in a couple of days. Bye.